What's happening, brother?
What's up, buddy?
Rocking and rolling, man. Good
Yo,
seeing you last night. That was good. Team. So Iva, this morning on the huddle, she goes, that was really good. She goes, I took a bunch of notes. I started laughing. It's
I
good,
did too.
Yeah, it was good. It was good seeing some new faces, some names I've never seen before. So
Yeah.
it was good.
Yeah, I think Terry was on even Stamper. His icon said iPhone, I believe.
Okay,
I
okay,
think that
cool.
was Terry. He said he was watching.
That's
So,
cool.
yo.
Good stuff. What's up, fellas? All right,
Hey,
Joel, you survive?
yes, I'm at a well, some of you guys will know him. I'm at a mastermind, and Tim and Mongo are here. So I did not go out after dinner with them last night. So I'm actually doing great. I'm doing great this morning.
Little sometimes you got to do a little Irish goodbye with those two.
Yes.
Yeah, for
Very
sure.
wise choice for sure.
For sure. Okay, well, we'll see. Robin said she might be late. She's got the kiddo, first day of school. I don't know where we know where Tim's at. He said he wasn't going to be on. We'll see where Kyle jumps in, and we'll see if Andrea jumps in. So we do have some spots open. If you guys know anybody that'd be a good fit, being able to push to get them into here would be fantastic. I know we'll have a big push in Cleveland um, to really obviously fill this group and hopefully fill another one. I mean that's the goal. So and then we're working on if you guys have gone down the scaling science of scaling rabbit hole of the master class and push for coaching, we're going to do the same thing. We're gonna just follow that exactly and get that put together and get that rolling. Is kind of the goal and kind of our focus heading into or coming out of Cleveland. We won't have it done prior to Cleveland because we got to finish the book. So as soon as the book's done, then that'll be out, and then that'll be the promotion for Mastermind. So just give you guys kind of a heads up what's happening. Uh, Trav, I know you're on a tight window, so we can dang sure jump in. There's Mr. Sam, so we can jump in with you for sure. So I'll let you jump. I'm gonna pull where is
Um, like I said last night, probably not gonna cap. I'm still hustling deals together, but I think it's time to focus on more on the future than right now. And I think I
okay.
need to finish building those bridges
Okay.
down here. So I think my my Facebook when I do post is pretty strong. Like I was saying last night, gets me the referrals, gets me in front of people. That does good. But I've been on the who's that guy you told me? V. What's his name? Gary
Gary
V.
V.
Yeah, I've been on that Gary V kick all week long since our last power hour meeting. Um,
Cool.
and he just talks about, social media's free and this might not always be free. We need to get it while we can. So I think I think YouTube's a play still here. I mean, nobody's really doing that
Okay.
in
So
Southwest
do we
Oklahoma.
want to turn that? Do we want to like really be more intentional with the social media campaign? Do we want to build that out? What is the theme? What is the flow? What does that look like? Do we want to commit to the YouTube channel? Like what's the big goal, the big focus? I sent this to a bunch of you guys last night. Um, Renee had actually sent that to me. Um, where is it? So she sent me the Ray Dalio Success in Your 40s. Just it was just it was really timely, right? More difficult because you're dealing with kiddos and for most dealing with aging parents as well, right? So it was really spot on. But he he breaks down obviously the mental clarity. He's massive on transcendental meditation. He always has been. If you've read, Principles or anything with Dalio, I love the relationship optimization. Definitely strategic leverage. Document once, codify lessons so mistakes don't repeat themselves. Principles, which is his book, and then hire those better than you. And he's one of his values is radically transparent. So he records everything. All of their meetings are recorded. Everything's recorded, and it now how beneficial that is with AI because everything goes in now. Everything can be created and searchable. But obviously, you know, knocking out the most important things. But when we look at his constant recalibration, and this is super, super important for us as we're navigating. So the weekly review, Sunday planning, what's worked, what didn't work, that strategic thinking time. That's one of the most important times that we all have each week is that reflective time. Um, Sam, the eye candy and getting out and just being outdoors. Dan, I know you love it as well. And just using that reflective time, that's when I do it. I do it out on Sunday walks. And where we're living now, we've got it's 3 miles to get to the trail, and it's a 50-mile trail. Um, and so being able to be on the trail and just know, I mean, I'll put the headphones on just but I'm not listening to anything, but using that time to kind of think through, okay, where are we at in relation to our goals? What's working? What's not working? What's broken? What do I need to stop doing? So you really using that time. So that's the weekly review. That's part of Sunday planning. And then the monthly check-in. So this is kind of where I'm going with this to push on Trav, but I want to, for all of us to think through, are the goals still aligned? Is the goal still the goal? And then the quarterly resets, right? That's why we do strategic planning. That's why Kitchen Table was even born, was to realign before we drift. That's like, dang, right? And so that's the quarterly resets. And so where I want, as we check in twice a month here, are the goals still aligned? Are the goals still the goal? Has things changed? And so, Sam just jumping in, Kyle just jumping in. Um, Trav, uh, we've been doing a little thing on Tuesday, Joel and I on Tuesday evenings, um, to where we go live. Um, you guys can jump in via Zoom, but we also go live inside of the Honey Badger Nation. So we're trying to borrow those 13,000 people in there, right? So we're trying to get in there and engage and try to bubble up some opportunities, but just adding value. So we're doing that. And we were talking in there, but Trav mentioned last night on the call, he's like, listen, I wanted to make a hard run at Icon. I just don't see how it's going to come together, right? Just delays on everything and mortgage and just time frames extending out. So, okay, so if that's not the goal anymore, the goal's changed. So let's recalibrate and make sure that we're in alignment to really what the goal is. Because we've all chased deals. I mean, Sam, we've done it, right? Where we've chased Icon and that changes everything, right? That changes our behavior, that changes our actions. We need now business instead of, okay, let's get back and recalibrate. Is the goal, what is the goal? And making sure that, we stay on track with it. So, my question to you, Trav, now, what is the goal, right? If we're not pushing after Icon, what's the goal now to the end of the year, into 26, continuing to build upon that? So what is the goal and what are we focused on?
Let's say the goal's back to what it was originally that I never finished, which is building a business that's going to last, not something just for right now. Does that make sense?
So,
I
but
guess
what is,
building out my brand that's going to last in 10 years.
okay. So obviously what's the growth metric that we're focused on right now? What variable to increase from what to what by when?
Um, yeah, I don't know. Like what do you mean? Like what do I want to do to get that brand? Is that what you mean? Like
Well, yeah. So, I mean, like what's the long-term goal? that we're focused on. We're trying to accomplish. Um, is there a certain milestone? Is there a certain thing that we're trying to get to by the end of the year? And it's like, kind of like the 1-3-5, right? What's the one big goal? What are the three strategies, and what are all the things that have to happen for those strategies to be true for us to hit the target?
Yeah. I mean, that kind of goal in my mind is build out that YouTube channel. That way, next year, whenever people are PCSing, I'll be ready for that.
Okay.
Starting now.
So
I
we're
think
putting
that.
that back at the top, right? It's like, hey, we need so
What do you think? I mean,
so listen, I think, and this is good for all of us, right? Come back to what is our value proposition? What's the value that we provide to the marketplace? Where is the opportunity in the marketplace? And it's changing for everybody, right? What is the real opportunity that we have, and what's my value proposition to those people? And how many of those people are there? So what's the goal? And you can be like, okay, well, I want to get X, I want to be able to hit X number of transactions because that equates to X number of dollars, right? Revenue and profit. And then you're like, okay, well, what are all the strategies and things to get there? You've already talked about organic social, which it has to be for all of us, has to be organic social and on the right platform where our people are, just because that's where all the eyeballs are. So we have to focus on that. So that has to be a core foundation. We need not shooting from the hip. We need a real theme and real strategy. I love Blake's. I love what Blake teaches his team. He teaches them the triangle, social media triangle. People got to know you sell real estate. What type of real estate? Who do you specialize? Like, who do you really help the most? I would say motivated sellers, right? Like, if I had to pick one, what would I pick? I would pick motivated sellers for all the reasons that we all talk about. And then number two is that when you look at the triangle, so you got hey, right? I'm the best at this real estate wise. And I'm educating, I'm providing, tons of information, I'm showcasing, I'm, providing the eye candy that people want to see. Um, Number two is I'm a good human, right? People got to know I'm a good human. They got to know what I stand for, what are my values, what's important to me, right? Like, we've gone through Jackie's core value exercise of, like, what's around you, right? That tells you what your values are. Do you have a lot of pictures of your family? Do you have a lot of books? Like, do you have a lot of things that are, important in alignment to you? And then the third thing is that you're an ambassador for your community. You're an ambassador for your community. Those are the three things that Blake teaches on, the social media triangle. So being super intentional with at least one or two in the feed every day, and keeping the stories full. And so it's a struggle for all of us, but we have to be intentional. And so that has to be at the forefront. Organic social has to be the number one thing. And then for you, Trav, we know yours is paid. You have some paid ads, so you're running ads. And then now you're wanting to say, okay, let's go in on YouTube, because we know YouTube is long down the road, right? It's an asset. It's not going to be something that we're going to see an immediate return on. So if you're like, okay, cool, I'm committed with organic social, but the one thing that I've got to get implemented is YouTube. Okay, well, let's break it apart. What does that have to look like? What are we modeling? What inspiration, what channels do we like? Um, who seems to be putting out, videos? What are the views, consistency, people that inspire you, that you want to model after?
Travis, when we started working together, we were gonna take over Elgin, right? Like, is that still the vision? Elgin, Medicine Park, Fletcher, like let's dominate up there.
yeah, it definitely is. But I don't know. I don't know if you can dominate enough to get all the deals to make it You know what I mean? They're just so small areas. Does that make sense? Super small towns. I don't know.
Do you know how many transactions over the last 12 months north of Fort Sill?
I hadn't looked lately
Okay.
since.
Okay. I would look. I think, the YouTube channel, different strategies. I would just kind of go down the rabbit hole. Alex is a good example for new construction. Outside of that, he's not a good example. Just because his whole channel is built around new construction. That's it. So you've got to find kind of other channels that you see that are doing well. I mean, I would connect with Tim here. Obviously, Dan, spot on. Channel junkies, they are
Oh
they're the
yeah.
best. They're the best.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I would pay attention to. Yeah, I would just find some inspiration and pay attention, see what's
Right.
similar that we can model after. So that would be, to me, that would be the homework, is find a couple examples, break down what they're doing, how many videos are they posting a month, a week, are they doing shorts, not doing shorts, are they, kind of what's the video content, but Channel Junkies is your go-to.
Yeah.
And I would vacuum up all the free information out of Channel Junkies I could.
Yeah, he's been pretty deep into anything you can do without paying a lot of money from Channel Junkies. Travis has been down. What I was asking about, Travis, is like you mentioned kind of having this runway before PCS kind of season hits again. But what I'm wondering is, are those deals you want to capture? Like, what's that price point? What kind of, like, who's coming in, who's going out? Are those deals we want? Versus should we still just be focused on the YouTube channel on LJ and Medicine Park?
Right. I got you.
So answering that question, because we don't want to build you a YouTube channel that generates deals you don't want.
Yeah. Yeah. I talked to Jackson Wilkie about it, and he was saying like we need to focus on Lawton because it's bigger. It's where Fort Sill is, and all the small town stuff will come in too. All the surrounding towns is the way he was talking.
Yeah. Then I would follow his lead,
Yeah.
whatever he says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and then if we're getting a lot of lower price stuff that you don't want, like, all right, I guess maybe we're ready for a buyer's agent to come take all of that low price
Right.
stuff so you can still focus on the higher price. So
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with John. If Jackson is giving you advice, I'd take it seriously.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, he's probably, I mean, can't argue with it, right? Because if you Lawton Fort Sill, right, that's what they're going to search, and then they're going to be like, okay, what's around here? What are the best school districts? Oh, we got Elgin, or we can go out to Cache. Default. If I got to stay in Lawton, I'm going east, right? So I think there's it gives you more. Obviously, all the eye candies out north of Fort Sill, which puts you in Medicine Park,
Right.
puts you in out in that area. So yeah, so let's break apart. Let's get the biggest action steps. AI is your friend, right?
Yeah.
Rip rip everything out of Channel Junkies, throw it in there, help me build out a plan, give it a lot in demographics. Like that's how we need to be thinking through a lot of these what we're trying to accomplish. Go find what we want. I mean, if you have Satori, it makes it even easier because you can just start pulling all those videos and context and everything like that. But just for sure utilizing Chat GPT to help you, or whatever model that you're that
Yeah. I've got Chat
familiar with.
GPT. I've got Whoosy. I've got Satori.
Then I would do it in Satori. I would
And
build out in Satori,
Satori.
because what you could do is you can go grab all of the how-to videos off of Channel Junkies
Yeah.
and put it into Satori, and then start with the context, and then create the persona of a YouTube expert. And I want you to help me build out my YouTube channel. Here's all of the context, which is all of Lawton demographics, all the home sales, who you are, what you're trying to accomplish. I would play around with it on Satori.
Okay. Yeah. I hadn't messed with it much, the Satori, but
Yeah, it's
I
gonna be
think
the move.
something to think about. Something to think about for you right now, Travis, is get the 3 to 5 things that you want to do every day, and have it somewhere where it's a checklist for you. And it's did you win the day or did you not win the day? So maybe it's like 30. I spent 30 minutes in Lofty calling my leads. I made a post or a live on Facebook. I did, like whatever those things are to help with the consistency. Um, and it's like, all right, if I do these 3 to 5 things, I win. I won today, or I didn't win today. Because you're good at it. You've got the audience. You get results from it. It's nothing but the consistency on the lead conversion, and then on the Facebook side. That's the only issue that you have right now, is just consistency with it. You get good results when you do it. You're good at it. Like I said, it's just consistency. So that's not talking about YouTube, but like the rest of your business.
Right.
Make something real simple, 3 to 5 things. That's like, if I do these things, I won the day. And then let's start tracking how many days we won, how many days we lost. But keep it simple, right? Like it's not 2 hours of prospecting time right now. Maybe it's 30 minutes, maybe it's an hour, whatever you can commit to. But if I do these 5 things, I win. And then let's just try to start stacking up wins. If you're less than 4 wins out of 5 days in a week, like you gotta get after it. If you're crushing it 5, we know we're going to get results. Something to think about to help with the consistency. Now it's just like, hey, I'm trying to get my daily wins, and it's doable. It's not that hard. It's not that time consuming, but I got to make my Facebook post, or I'm not going to get my win today.
Yeah. Forcella has 5 on the power list. I struggle with 5. And then, listen, kind of what is going through with the Ray Dalio, 2 to 3, that's his 2 to 3 high leveraged activities, tackles them during his peak energy hours, not when he's drained. No more wasting mornings on low impact tasks. So it's 2 to 3. I hit and I win when I do 3. When I push it to Forcella's 5, I'm typically right at 4. But if you listen to Forcella, what he talks about, a lot of those things are already in my calendar, right? So I'm already doing some things. So sometimes it's hard to put 5 things on the power list for me because I've got so much stuff already in the calendar. So I'm going to, I lock in at 3, and that's the measurement, right? I got to get all 3 to win the day, and then got to get 5 days to win the week, right? Got to get 4 weeks to win the month. And, when you start stringing those together, that's where momentum starts to happen. But they need to be things that are moving the business forward. Cool.
Yeah.
Trav, you good? Homework, lay out the YouTube, mess with Satori, build out the blueprint, what we got to do.
Y'all been with me for a few months now. I think it's getting close to a year even. What's your personal opinion of the plan, the goals? Do you think we're right on? Do you think what?
Yeah, it's focus on converting the leads that you're already generating, your paid stuff, your Zillow stuff, your Facebook ads. Convert, Facebook consistency, and start building the YouTube. I mean, you're going to get the referrals from Facebook. You're going to get the quick business from the leads you're generating, and then you got time to build the channel before TCS and season happens. So I mean, I don't think you need to focus on anything else. As we get the business, you're getting too busy. All right, like I'm getting stressed. I got so much coming in. Okay, now we're talking about what's the team structure look like? Do we need to start talking about an assistant? Do we need to get a VA? You are going to have to answer the video editing question, whether that's the guy you knew from Teen Challenge, or we're looking at a VA or something like that. But for me, you're in a great spot because it's simple. You got three things: convert your leads you're generating, Facebook consistency, start building YouTube. As you nail all of those 3 things, you're going to be generating enough business that something's going to start getting stressed. And then we're going to start talking about what does the next hire need to look like? What's the team look like? Stuff like that. But I think it's crystal clear. And if it's not one of those 3 things, then, think long and hard about spending any time on it. What do you think, Coach?
Spot on. I think the thing is like, what do you want, right? What do you want this to look like? Because if you stay consistent, then it's going to unlock other opportunities. And if you want to go, the recruiting route, you want to go the team route, you want to go the expansion route, you want to start doing things, you want to bleed a little bit more out surrounding areas, you want to bleed north, you want to close the gap between you and Kyle, right? Like there's a lot that we can start to do. But get the foundation, right? Get the foundation, get the consistency, and then we'll be strategic as we go. I mean, if you want, there will be a play to where you can bleed north and Kyle can bleed south, and there's some pieces that we can put in place. So Kyle's got one hell of a offer that we could bleed that down as well. So I think it's just, what do you want? And it doesn't mean that you have to decide that right now, because I know been juggling with some stuff personally. So coming out of that chaos, and I shared this the other day, and I think I read it to you guys. Actually, it was I had a good conversation with old Walter Bressler last week, and he was telling me about new coach he's working with, and one of the things that kind of came out of their conversation was procrastination is often caused by a lack of clarity. And just really think about that for a second, right? And all the places that we procrastinate, and it's either I don't want to do it, right? Somebody else should be doing it, or like I just don't have the level of clarity. Is this serving me? Is this helping me achieve what I want to? So I think for you, Trav, where you're at, I mean, I would execute on those three things for my foundation, but I think it's still clarity process of what do you want this to look like moving forward. And remember, sometimes it's easier to decide what you don't want than it is what you do. And then you got to ask yourself, how much pain is that going to cause me? And growth is about pain tolerance, and not everybody has a high pain threshold, so they don't push hard. So the better question is like, how much pain am I willing to withstand at this season of my life? Because that usually will correlate to what the goals could be or possibly should be for you.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I know you got to jump. So a little more clarity, like Joel said, some structure. What's our organic social cadence? You've got one of the best in the business on this call right here when it comes to that. She's actually helping me personally navigate through this. So obviously, this is Mastermind, right? Being able to connect, and like I said, you've got one of the best in the game when it comes to strategy and social organic strategy. And then find some YouTube inspiration. Go rip everything you can. Mess around with Satori and try to get a solid game plan for the YouTube channel.
Okay. Who's the best at this?
Miss Andrea.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. We may have to connect. See what she can teach me something.
She
Absolutely.
can dang sure that. She can dang sure do that. Okay.
Awesome.
All right, brother. I know you got to jump.
All right.
Cool. All right, Kyle, Dan, you guys are up.
Hey, everybody. I'll let Kyle go because he
Hey.
got a chance to go for a while.
He didn't get to join us last time. So yeah. So I'm looking at the notes. Now where is Herbie? Client got a minutes, activities in the calendar, better offers. So still back on the offer. Really pushing the goal, I think, for you guys. You guys have just been so dang reactive with production, because I mean, it's just, I know we put a big production goal out there. So I guess maybe kind of recap kind of, where we're at so far this month coming out. And, you guys set a really big production goal. And is that still the goal? And what comes downstream from that?
I mean, it's still the goal. Yes, we have about 10 days left on that goal, which was 30 transactions in 45 days. I think we're probably at like 16.
Giddy up.
So we're a little bit short of the goal, but we've I don't know. We're actually, it's kind of an interesting spot right now. You know, we cut back way on big time on our Zillow spend, and Dan was taking all the Zillow leads, and it's a really interesting thing. Like now Dan actually has time, which is nice. Um,
Imagine that.
yeah, it's not like chasing a tail. Um, and so I don't know, I guess we need to nail some stuff down. A lot more clarity needs to happen, but you know, our cash offer thing, we've had 2 leads come through. One was a past client, and um, they're holding tight for now. The other one was a house quite a ways away. I talked to him, but he wasn't really serious. But we're just doing the newspaper advertising on that, so we got to change that up and probably go way harder on pay per click or stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, definitely connecting with Kyle, kind of as restructuring the whole. I mean, that's just where Kyle's at too, right? He's restructuring the whole game plan of being able to attack this. So, if that's still the value proposition we want to kind of lead with, and I know that's kind of the direction we were going, right? We were trying to set, you know, y'all's brand more so on the higher end, just luxury look feel. Doesn't mean that we focus just on luxury, but we have that feel, and then still having this motivated, desperate seller offer to the marketplace was kind of the initiatives. But I know you guys were obviously just breathe in, both of you in production, full throttle. Um, I just want to make sure that we're building towards something and not just focused on production. There's a method to our madness of what we're trying to accomplish, that we're working towards something. It's the whole Joel, I can't believe I spaced on it last night. I thought of it with Matt and DJ's team this morning. I went down the Abraham rabbit hole about goals, and I didn't even touch on it. But it was the Gordon Bazar's goal message, right? You're flying you're flying your private airplane by yourself over the desert on the way to Cairo, and you develop turbulence, and you have to emergency crash land, and you land, and you've got a couple options, right? You gather all the things that are available to you, and you hunker down, and you stay put, and you're waiting for somebody to come save you. The reality is nobody's coming to save you, period. And so the only option you have is to gather all the things you can and get moving, and keep moving towards the destination that you had intentionally were trying to get to. And so, things will punch us in the mouth, things will throw us off course. Our job is to course correct and get back on the path of where we're wanting to go. And so, with you guys, making the commitment to decision to, focus on production, then it's got to be okay. Well, what are we doing production for, besides cash flow and paying our bills? What's it? What's beyond that, right? Because remember, when financial needs are met, if you don't have a purpose, your foot comes off the gas. When you have a purpose, financial, like, it never stops. So what are we working towards? That's where we have to stay. And I know you guys were tired. I mean, you guys were tired, you were running and gunning, but we've got to be moving in a known direction. And so how clear is that for the two of you?
I think what has happened is because we have more time, we're talking a lot more and doing a lot more planning. And so because of that, I think things are slightly changing on when we're tweaking things and what we're focusing on. I think overall it's the same thing. We've got the luxury brand and the desperate, or I shouldn't say desperate, but the buyers they need to sell,
Motivated?
which is motivated.
Motivated.
I mean, that's primarily what it is. I think the tactical level is what we're getting clearer on. on how
Listen,
we're doing it and what's
you
working.
guys tactically, you guys are world class. I mean, you guys can sell some shit. That's not the problem. You gotta, we have to, I would, Joel, I'll let you chime here. My thought for the two of you is you need to go through the vivid vision exercise and really go through and paint out that picture vividly, vision for the future. To me, that's
Okay.
where you guys are at. Joel, you can speak to that all day long. You're the one even introduced that whole concept to us.
Yeah, I think that's a great call, because you guys could do whatever you want. Like you have the skills and experience. You could rebuild a team. You could keep running lean and stacking cash. You could do whatever you want. Like, you guys have the skills and experience. So what do we want to do? But the vivid vision, like, all right, yeah, what does 3 years look like? That's the big question. Like, really specifically, what does 3 years from now look like? And then it's just back to coach's methodology of what are all the ways? What are all the ways we can get there now? Now, which one is best for us? And maybe that's, related to cash offer and doing those deals. Maybe it's stacking investments. Maybe it's getting into commercial, because you guys have the ability to have an incredible cash machine in your business. But that cash machine has to go somewhere. Otherwise, you'll never get out of it, which obviously we all know. That's why people build teams in the first place. You don't want to do that again. So then your cash machine has to build assets. Otherwise, you have to go back to building a team. Otherwise, you just have to be okay running and gunning for however many years it takes to, save up enough to retire. So you're in a good spot, but you're in a tough spot, because most people don't have the options that you guys have because of your skills and experience. So you're not forced down a path, which means you really have to choose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And spend the time, like, do the vision, but then spend the time on, going back through perfect day, or going back through the financial freedom exercises. If you haven't done that recently, what's the number we got to hit? How many properties do we have to own, or how much, passive income do we need to get to that perfect day, that financial freedom number? And maybe it's time to just really redesign exactly what it needs to look like. And now, either you're like, hell yeah, we're only a few years away, or we're 5 years away, or whatever, right? Like, let's just keep going as hard as we can for 5 more years and we'll get there. Or it's, hey, it's going to take a little longer. Are we up for running this model for 10 years? Do we want to start thinking about something different? Do we want to, see what else we can do to collapse that time? But I think going back through some of those kind of foundational vision and financial freedom exercises could be really valuable.
I also think if you're like sitting there stacking cash, like I just had this thought lately, but you're getting beat up by inflation if you're not putting it somewhere. So I think like you have to figure out somewhere to go with it, do something with it, because if you're just stacking and saving, like I don't know, you got to have it somewhere. You got to have some plan to deploy it somewhere. I don't, whether it's stock market, whether it's houses, something, whether it's putting into motivated seller houses. And but like I just kind of noticed, like, man, over the last 5 years, if you didn't deploy it somewhere, you got killed. Like your savings not doing good.
Yeah.
So
I almost feel like we've gone through the Great Depression, like where we have seen, when running the team, and once in a while you have huge expense months, right? And we have seen that depletion happen so quickly, and that we are now hoarding this cash, like with the mindset that it could happen again. But the reality is it's not likely to. And like you said, yeah, I mean, we're losing money. So
Yeah. Good point.
Love it. Okay, homework. Lay that out. Where are we going?
And And then have a all options on the table, even if they're not really all options. Like at least have that mindset and conversation a little bit. Like, hey, what would it look like to rebuild the team? Hey, what would it look like to start a whole another business that we always kind of wanted to do? What would it look like to buy a big commercial building in Rochester? Like, I would just have at least have those conversations, right? Of like, hey, we could do whatever we want. Let's talk about what some of those things might look like.
Yeah. I mean, listen, y'all have such a, footprint and reputation and brand and, unlocking opportunities that I don't think, I think everything's on the table. You know, where, my 2 cents with the team aspect is might not be, I mean, owning real estate is one option. Owning other Main Street businesses is another option, especially ones that get a bite of the apple when the transaction closes. Like, fewer home sales equals what? Renovations to homes. That's what happens when fewer home sales. People stay put. They renovate versus making the move. So there's real options out there, guys. There's the painting companies, there's the HVAC companies, there's the plumbing companies, there's the general contracting companies. I mean, lawn and landscape companies, anything with reoccurring revenue, like those are real freaking options. So like when you have the freedom to go through that vision exercise, like what Joel's saying, everything's on the table. And so, I mean, same for you, Mr. Davis. Like you you employ a lot of people um, outside of your own company that if you got the right who, I mean those opportunities are real. So just some things to think about. Especially when you guys control customer acquisition, which is the biggest thing. Like, yeah.
Well,
So
and
you guys don't.
16 deals, and well, you'll probably end up with one or two more, but like, even if it stayed at 16 in 45 days, I mean, that's what, 120, 130 something transaction run rate for the year. I mean, that's still pretty badass for two agents.
Yeah.
Well, we should, right? We've been doing this for a long time. But...
That's fair.
All right.
That's still a big number.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Guys, good?
Good.
Good.
All right, cool.
Thanks.
Sam, you're up, buddy.
Well, before I go, I'm curious, what was the faucet that you guys turned down to generate those, Kyle and Dan, what was that faucet you guys turned on to generate that much business in a short amount of time?
I wouldn't say that it's completely out of the norm. So like if we hit 30 transactions, that would have been a lot, right? But if we hit 20 transactions in a month and a half, it's on the high side of the normal, right?
Okay.
So it's just a matter of, touching base with everybody,
So was there a change in habits or was there a change in strategy or is there a change in anything that caused you to get this bump of activity or?
Only thing I did different, Sam, was I just was a lot more aggressive on calling past clients. Like I went through a lot of phone calls in that amount of time. So part of it was used because we had just had a client event. But go ahead.
Yeah, there's a lot of low-hanging fruit that we just weren't aggressive on, right? But...
Yeah. Good. Well, I was curious about that. It's good to hear. It's it's a little bit opposite of what I've got going on right now, and that is a lot of activity, a lot of listings, but not a lot of sales. And my market right now is kind of in a difficult spot where time on the market's going up because there's low urgency to sell, and transactions are not happening. When they are getting under contract, they're falling apart. In the last couple of weeks, I've had 2 properties fall apart, 2 under contract falling apart right when I really needed them to close. And so my deal flow, my cash flow is way down. But my listings are consistent. So I'm getting out there. I'm landing clients, got new properties coming on the market, and my marketing is generating conversations, and I'm getting showings, but man, I just can't get them to close. So my primary focus, my only focus, is getting deals to close right now, and that's taking up all my time and all my effort. I'm trying to delegate off, different ways to keep the marketing out there, but leads are coming in for listings and just not getting them closed. So I feel like I'm on a long distance run, and I'm 3/4 of the way through, and all the questions of, well, why am I doing this? Should I continue, or should I stop? Should I slow down? Should I just tough it out? And I'm just toughing it out. I'm just doing the things I need to do to serve my clients, doing all the hard work of connecting with people that I need to connect with. But the wins are few and far between on the actual closings. I've got other little things happening that are good wins, but primary flywheel of the cash flow is not very solid right now. So it's discouraging.
Sam, are the ones that are falling apart, are those working with other agents, or are you double ending them?
Other agent situations. I had one that I thought was solid, and then a VA appraisal came in and blew it up. It was a $1.3 million sale, and the appraiser came in and had his opinion that it was worth $250,000 less. So, we have everybody in the transaction, from buyers and sellers and agents and lenders and everybody, thinking that it's worth 1.3. An appraiser comes in and blows it up and says it's not even worth, it's worth under 1.1. We couldn't fight it, and then all of a sudden the buyer loses heart that it's actually worth it and cancels the transaction. So things like that, that's what's going on in my market that are difficult.
What can we double, triple down on? I mean, how many emails are going out every day? How many DMs, text messages, how many live phone calls? Like what's kind of the activity? What's our social, number of organic social posts, story? Like what's kind of the front end within our control activity?
Sure. The emails and individual reach outs to my hot list, I've been focusing on that the most, and that's where I'm generating the listings from. But the buyers are the ones that are hard to find and hard to lock down. And so, yeah, I've got activity, but there's a lot of timidity, a lot of people not sure. There's just uncertainty of, I haven't found the perfect one yet. And so I'm going to wait, because I'm not confident that the market is strong enough for me to need to lock into something that I'm not waiting for, the perfect unicorn. I got buyers that I'm showing property to later today that are very much in that category. It's like they were under contract on another property. The inspection came and they just didn't want to hold on to it because it had way more problems than they wanted to deal with. So even if the seller wasn't going to fix them all, and therefore they were out. So they're just willing to wait for that perfect property in a second home market that they don't have to buy, but they're curious and continue to look, but they're not pulling the trigger on that just right one. So it becomes a big time suck in trying to find them that unicorn and giving them more opportunities, but it's not urgent, so they don't pull the trigger. I've got dozens of clients that way that are just waiting for the right thing. So
How much does it cost you to bring a listing to market?
somewhere between, depending on the property, 2,000 to 3,000 on what I'm doing right now. So yeah, that I've been bringing listings in. I've got more listings than I've had in years, and that's all been a drain on the cash flow as well without them closing. So we're doing open houses, quite a bit of open houses to generate those buyer leads. We've got other agents holding my listings open as well, so it's not all just me. I feel like
How many active listings do you have right now?
11.
How many active listings on the market in Estes?
Probably about 150, 175.
Okay. from a cash flow standpoint, do you have any language in there with the sellers that if they remove it off the market or we can't get realistic on price, that you're able to get reimbursed for upfront listing expense?
I do, but only in the first 60 days, because I figure I've probably generated some buyer leads off of that. That's been my standard for years, is just the first 60-day cancellation fee.
Okay. Yeah, I was just, yeah, I don't know, where my mind was going is like just going hardcore and going from 11 to 33, like if we tripled our listing inventory, because that's going to create more demand, more opportunities. You start to have a stronger presence already up there, but that's also, 60,000 out of pocket just sitting there, right? If we're not turning cash. So we got the holding cost. I don't know, man. We had 200 active listings. I would rather have 200 active listings than no listings at all. And it's, that's just a big,
Yep.
that's just to me, that's just that's a better problem. And,
Yep.
and so, yeah, I don't know if you slow down. I mean, I think you just keep foot on gas with listings. And
That's where my thought is too, because the snowfall at the end of the summer season and the beginning of the fall season, when the snowfall hits, our market changes every year. So sellers are beginning to get a little more nervous. I think the urgency is going to start increasing here in the next 30 days.
I think you just go super hardcore aggressive on listings. And I
Yep.
think the buyers will come. I think you
And-
just like all energy, effort, hardcore going to get as many dang listings as you can right now.
I think that's good. Stay focused on the listings. Yeah, I think I've the last couple of weeks I've been focused hard on getting those price reductions with people, and I think that'll be more productive here in the next few weeks. Getting more of those price reductions, getting them
Yeah.
exposure with
And
that.
then I would take a play out of Andrea's playbook, and getting into any of the groups and communities that you can and say sellers want it. Hey, like you got this buyer that's a unicorn, got some unicorn buyers that are looking for X, Y, and Z. If you have a property or somebody has this particular type of property, I'll let Andrea speak to that strategy, because that kind of blew up on her in a good way.
Good.
But
I like
just
that
being
idea.
able to put that out there as well, I think it's just especially because I mean your market is tight, right? Like being able to stay high touch in those community groups without coming in and trying to be salesy. You're coming in like, hey, listen, I've got some unicorn buyers. They're looking for X, Y, and Z. And I mean, you can probably pull Andrea's exact, verbiage that she utilized. That has just snowballed her production in the last 45, 60 days.
Cool. I like that idea. Sounds like we have to have a chat, Andrea.
Yeah, I mean, it was super simple. I think I touched on it last time, but I
Yeah.
just changed the verbiage from buyer needs to sellers wanted, and it, like John said, snowballed the last 30 to 60 days into multiple listings all over.
Nice.
I just stated exactly what three of my buyers were looking for. Many of them overlapped on the suburbs we were looking in. And so it just it snowballed. I mean, none of my buyers bought any of the properties that I listed. So it was no, dual agency or, double-ended thing. So it was more transactions, honestly, because they ended up buying something else.
Got it.
Which types of groups or how many were you posted in?
I did it in like the moms discuss it groups. Or like I live in a township, so it's like a township group. It's basically where all the moms go to bitch and everything, and people post about what's going on in the city. And so it was basically all those. And I mean, in Cleveland, we're all little tiny pocket suburbs. So I'm part of where I live. I'm probably part of, I'd say, 5 to 7 of all of the surrounding suburbs around me, plus some further away. But I didn't post in those because none of my buyer needs. I could technically make up a buyer and put it in there, but I didn't post it in any of the ones that didn't apply to at least one of my buyers.
That's good.
But because you never know who knows somebody.
Uh-huh.
Just because it's in Parma, someone might have someone in North Royalton. You know, they might know someone that's thinking of selling.
And I mean, karma's a real thing. So I think being authentic and being honest about it is the right way to go instead of just
Agreed.
fabricating something. Because karma will come back to get you. But yeah, Sam, I think, don't second guess yourself. Like, go all in on listings. Like, fall asleep thinking about listings, wake up thinking about listings. My key driving activities every day is listings. And I would not take my foot off the listing gas.
I like it. Yeah, that's good encouragement.
It gives you, but it also gives you, or it gives you content, right?
Yep.
Because remember, what do buyers want? And what do you have the best in the world of?
eye candy.
Eye
Yep.
candy.
Yep. No, I've
People,
enjoyed doing that. Go ahead. Heard someone say something.
Joel,
Joel, did you say something?
am I frozen or are you frozen, Sam? Are we good?
Well, I felt like I was good. I don't know.
go ahead.
I was just going to say that the agents that capture market share in tough markets tend to keep that market share in good markets. So,
Yep.
so there's, long-term upside to this strategy too.
Yep. That's good. That encouragement was, I think that's what I needed. I'm, like I said in the beginning of the comment, 3/4 of the way through the round, that's when you begin, questioning your life choices. You just got to go finish the run. So that's where I'm at. So I appreciate you guys.
Yep. I love it. All right, Mr. Davis.
So, I implemented a new pay per lead strategy since the last time.
Okay.
And different than a pay per click. It's this company that does motivated seller leads on a mass scale all over the country. So this is something y'all might consider. It's called propertyleads.com, and I'm paying between 125 and 175 per lead. And I got 5 and converted 1 to 2 deals.
What's it called again, Kyle?
Called propertyleads.com.
Okay.
And they're spending like $2 million a month and just mass generating these motivated seller leads, and it's per county. So you can like go and like sign up for your county, so, and then you can bid per county. So don't tell everybody about it in the world, because then the bids are going to go up and up and up. But, I mean, it's $500 for my conversion. It's around 16 grand on the 500. So I'm like, I'm going to keep pushing on this. And I mean, they seem pretty good. Like, I think 3 of them sucked, and 1 of them was really good, and 1 of them was okay. So, so my strongest cash offer strategy is I have to get my cost per lead down. That actually would get my lead cost down by $4,900 per acquisition, which would be like a life changer, game changer. Like if I do 20 a year, or that's 200 grand. So I'm like, it just brought this realization to me of like, no wonder I'm drowning. Like, I can't hire anybody because I'm spending so much on every lead. And, if I had an extra 200 grand, I could have a GC, there's a lot of things I could do to make it easier and better. And so, if anything, my big strategy is I'm working on getting this cost per lead down to under $1,000. That's my goal. So, I've got
What's property leads right now? What is it? What is it cost per lead?
So it is minimum is 125 per lead. Depends on how like expensive your county is and how many people are buying these leads, but the highest one I saw was 175 per lead.
Okay.
And they also have a refund policy where like if they never answer and you can prove that you touched them 12 times with no answer, they'll give you your money back. There's like 12 reasons they'll give you your money back on the leads, and like if you call them and it's an invalid lead, they'll give you your money back. If they never answer, they'll give you your money back. Like
How much did you, how many have you got so far?
I've gotten 5, and I converted 1 yesterday, and they're selling 2 properties. So I could have bought it cash, but I cannot buy any more properties right now. Like I'm just
So what are you? So where? I mean, what was the price point on it?
so price point is 370 on it, and
Giddy
then they're
up.
selling land that's like 300 as well. Uh, so it's around a little over 600 in production. So it's probably 16 to 18 grand at the end of the day, like listing wise.
And we paid
So
125
Kyle,
times five, 625, and we picked up one. And if it
Yeah,
sells,
and
so
I'm getting one
620.
refund back. So I mean, like I think it's like $500 total.
so getting acquisition cost under 1,000 is the
Yeah, if
goal,
I can do
right?
that, that's like life changing, game
Yeah.
changing. And if I can be at 500, you know, I'm doing really well.
Yeah.
So that's my super strategy. In the background, I am building a new website with Carrot. Um, Carrot sent me to a guy that literally focuses on SEO, and that's going to be a second strategy to getting my cost per lead down is moving to a really big SEO model and somebody that actually specializes in it.
Okay.
And so he is currently building it. It'll be 30 to 60 days out. And so they're doing that. And
Is that going to be a large ongoing expense or just a build out expense?
so build out expense is 5 grand. And that's like for the first 30 to 60 days. After that, the costs start a little higher because they've got to build backlinks to build your SEO. So like it starts at probably like 2 to 3 grand a month. You can choose how much you want to power it. So I'm probably not going to power it at 3 grand because I've got more properties than I need right now. I need to sell them. So I'll probably sit at that 2 grand a mark. As it builds, you can go down to their 399 a month and they'll make continual backlinks. But it just depends on how much you want that faucet to be running. So the more you want it to run, the more backlinks they need to make. So, you know,
Have they talked at all, or have you looked at all into like kind of what some of the alarmists at least are saying about SEO as it relates to AI? So like I'm seeing some people say their SEO is way down because their product is like their SEO is getting gobbled up by the Gemini AI
Yeah.
results that pop up first.
Yeah.
That's
And
just something I was thinking about with you.
I have heard that, and I've done some or just some research on that, and it is a problem. But if you can become the link inside the Gemini, because they always put a link at the end of it, like that's where you need to be. So like if the higher you're going to rank and the higher your SEO and the more backlinks you have, the more likely you're going to be in that Gemini link.
Yeah.
So I think
SEO is like more valuable than ever, but it's more of an all or nothing game than ever.
Yeah, and I'm not 100% sure how to make sure you get inside that. I'm sure they're going to like monetize that
Mhm.
before too long. I mean, you know they're
100%.
going to. So yeah, I'm definitely working towards that. But I mean, I also think like I use that Gemini too, but like if I actually want something, I'm probably going to dig down a little deeper too. So like it could also decrease your leads, but it could increase your conversion because the people that just want basic information sit on Gemini. The people that really want somebody to contact them, they might scroll down and
Yeah.
so we'll see what happens with all that.
No, I think that's a good take.
Yeah.
And you're obviously aware of it and paying attention, so that's good.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is. It's coming. The team staying on top of it, but how do you optimize for AI? I know Place has had a lot of conversations, just talking with Matt and DJ. Um, what does that look like? And so, I was talking with Angel and she's like, not yet, but that's coming, is optimization for AI. So we just need to stay on top of it and just keep paying attention to it. Making sure that all of our pages, everything that we have out there, GT Metrics is the tool that we use to make sure that everything's graded at an A or A plus. I think it's like $28 a month subscription, but it's GT Metrics is the one that we use. And but just stay on top. And I'll keep asking Matt and DJ kind of what they're doing, what Place is doing to really optimize moving into the future.
Yeah. One thing I've realized is like having too many homes at one time is more stressful than helpful for me. So like I start drowning in interest and money going out. And so I've really kind of set a goal back to like going from like 6 to 7 at a time to like 4 to 5 at a time tops. And I think my wheelhouse is going to be around four. And I'm developing a little like a wholesale strategy on the side that's like if I've got too many, I can wholesale it. I'm building a buyer list. Also, I, I implemented this new system called Investor Base, and it's where like you get an address for a house, you can pop it into Investor Base, and it pulls up all the flippers that have bought within the last year or 2 years, and then it also will pull up all the landlords that currently hold properties within that blank mile radius you choose, and it gives you all their phone numbers, and you can call and try to sell that property to them off market. So
Giddy up.
it's pretty sweet. I built a buyer list already off of it. I built like three off of it where they're like, hey, that one doesn't work, but let me know in the future. And so you can build a good investor buyer list. And I've noticed like, man, that's where a lot of the money's moving right now is to investors. So they're buying no matter what. So I was like, it's not bad to just build that strategy and build that buyer list. And so that's the other thing I implemented there. And also I think like a lot of the reason a lot of people don't convert as many is they don't have as many options. And if we can provide a lot of options to people, like list it, or I can go call all these investors, or I can buy it, or whatever. So the more options I have, the more likely I am to convert on less leads than the other people. So
Love
that's
it.
kind of my SEO strategy for now. My team strategy is I'm really just working towards building them towards 13 deals. Me and you talked about that the other day. The goal is
Yep.
to get them to 13 deals a month without me. So
And we need more agents for that to be true.
and so that's I need at least two more. So
Okay. And
minimum.
and what do we have going for that?
So I've got the two people in the pipeline that are looking at coming in the next 60 days. So I'm working on them, and then I've talked to my team leader here at the office and let her know that I am looking for some talent. So
Yeah. I think your team lead's going to be the best resource for you because that's their job, right? Their job is to put agents in that market center, but we need those agents on your team in that market center.
yeah, and then other than that is just really getting my debt paid down. Like I
Yep.
want to pay the SEO debt. Like I've got to get it sold and off. Like it's bringing stress upon me.
Yeah. Yeah. Get it. I mean, it's going to move. It'll move.
Yeah.
So
everything's slowed down though. So it's like, yeah.
well, remember too, it's season, and what just happened? Kiddos just went back to school, so should breathe again and then pop again before we hit the holidays.
Which we did go and we cleaned them all up, made them pretty, updated the landscaping, reduced the prices, and I'm like, hey, like let's just control what we can control and
Get your team doing open houses, push all over social, like
which I
go
liked
crazy
your
with
idea
them.
on that sensational six, and we've implemented
Yep.
the components on our SEO. So
Yep. There was a criteria around that she had. Joel, what's Leanne's strategy? It's more than 30 days, got to be in a geographical area, and $1,000 bonus to the team member that holds it open, that sells it if they do sell it. So a little incentive for the team to get out there and try to hustle it.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
And I would do $100 bills bonus, right? Make a big
Cash.
deal at the team meeting, and I would Jordan Belfort it, like make a big deal out of it.
I like it.
Compensation drives behavior.
100.
$100 bills drives behavior.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, okay, cool. You good?
I'm good.
All right, cool, awesome. All right, Andrea, bring us home.
Good morning. What do I have working? So what we talked about last time as far as just getting into a consistent flow for social media and all that, been doing just staying on top of that amongst all the other busyness, to, get me to that point of going solo, which John, you and I talked about on our call yesterday. So I'm roughly 6 months out from that anniversary date where I will essentially make that decision. It's not really a point of resetting right now, with 6 months left of my anniversary year. So just sticking with the consistency and implementing that workflow, for the massive amounts of contacts that I have. I'm so bad at, I'll send like a monthly email or something like that, but it's overwhelming how many contacts I have in my CRM. So it's like the social media thing works for me. I don't know that I want to take that on. It's almost like I would need to hire someone to do that. So that's kind of what I've thought about is either finding someone who's recently licensed, or I'm a certified mentor with EXP. So if I could get a mentee and kind of just give them access to my database, and then obviously either work with them or create like a partnership opportunity with them for that to bring some business out of those leads. I also do have a ISA calling them that works for my preferred lender, but they're just not converting anything. So I think something else needs to happen with that. I liked
What
your
CR,
the
Andrea? What
uh,
CRM are you using?
I was using Katie Core, and then it switched over to Bold Trail. I haven't really hopped into Bold Trail a whole lot since it switched.
And then how many contacts in it?
Oh God, probably like I would say like 5 to 10,000. I
I mean,
have like I have an exported list of all of our old ones as well, because I had all of Al's from when it was his team too.
Do you have anything in the
So I probably
budget to
have
where
over
you can,
like 200,000 contacts.
do you have anything in the budget to run oh geez, what is it? Ryan Young's tool.
Oh,
Hello.
fellow. You know what? I did it like probably a year and a half ago, and it did not do anything.
It's
And I don't know if it's evolved since I did it, but I was on it for probably a good like 3 to 6 months, and it was, I mean, nothing came out of
I
it.
would revisit it, especially if you have access to that many contacts that you can plug it into. I know I know Laura and Mike are running with it, and it's working for them. So I
Really?
mean, you would be right on top of it. I mean, you guys overlap a lot, but who cares? I mean, if you have
Right.
access to, like, I would like. It's the reason why we're going live inside of the Honey Badger group. We're trying to borrow other people's contacts and groups to you know start some conversations. So I would look at it. I would see what Ryan would do. I mean, you're probably what, 600-700 bucks with that many contacts, and I would let it run, see if it could bubble up some opportunities for you. So I mean, I would.
Right.
You have that massive database. I think that's, to me, you got the database strategy, you got your social strategy. I would figure out something what's going on with that ISA. We're not converting. Why are we not converting? What's their daily metrics? I would put some accountability, that visibility, things that you would want to see. How many conversations are you having? How many DMs are you sending? How many SMS? How many emails are you sending? And okay, that should equate to conversations. How many conversations are you having? How many appointments did you set? So I would start holding
Yeah.
it accountable, and then I would come back to the lender, kind of whatever that arrangement is, and I'd be like, listen, this joker ain't converting. We need somebody in this seat. So I would push on
Yeah.
them, and you have access to that database.
Well, yeah, I'll explore it, and maybe, I mean, I'm sure I could even get my lender to split it half and
Mhm.
half too. So
100%. Yeah.
yeah, I think I started running it as soon as Sue had taken over the team, because it was like, all right, now I'm on my own. I gotta do this all myself. I'll try this.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I'll re-explore it.
Yeah.
Because I know like Veronica uses it too, doesn't she? Like I've seen some
Who
pretty
does?
big names use it. I think Veronica, I've seen like
Oh
a
yeah, they
video
all
or
use it.
something.
Yeah, they all use it.
Yeah, yeah. I just saw it.
Custom campaign. Okay, Dan. Yeah, so Dan, you guys aren't using it?
We are.
Oh, you are.
We had a call with the guy, and he's like, "Yeah, you guys are just on the basic one." And I'm like, "What's that?" And I looked at it. I thought when you went to Fellow, like I thought everything was like super customized and like it was all done. but it wasn't. It was like the one default was the only thing that has been running for us. And so he goes, "Oh yeah, look at all these other ones you can pick from." And I'm like, "Oh." So I had no idea. They're all in there. I would just say if you do it, set up a one-on-one with them and ask them to walk them through and be like, "Hey, this is the client profile I'm looking for. I want to hit sellers really hard or this type of seller." Because they have a lot of them that are already set up and you just click on them and then they go in. Otherwise, the default's pretty
Okay.
generic. So
Yeah.
Mm.
And I think that was, like thinking back on it, it was very generic. It was just like, do you want a home value?
Yeah,
And
no,
I
you
don't
need the
know.
custom
Yeah.
campaigns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan, you
Yeah.
like it?
Kyle and I still have to go through the custom campaigns.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Yeah, get that set up, guys. Like, I mean, I know people are making it work. And like, listen, so I get, privy to hear, obviously with Brivity in place and what Matt and DJ, but, you know, X number of market reports equals X number of opportunities. And Harp uses it, and the thing that motivates and pisses him off is fellow will tell you how many of those contacts in the database have recently bought or sold.
Yeah. I haven't seen that.
Yeah. So like, I mean, you heard our like $1.7 million lesson that we learned in 12 months with the brokerage in Texas. So 2016, we went from dead standstill. We did, 222, whatever, transactions in that 12-month period. And we were where were we at? I think we were in Aspen. Did we go back to Aspen in 2017? Somewhere in there, right? We were somewhere cold. No, we went to Jackson. We were in Jackson Hole when we went down there. And I'm sitting there with Jeff Abrams, and he runs our database up against the MLS. We did the math. It cost us because our follow-up campaigns sucked because we were so focused on new contacts with the call center, with the ISAs. We dropped the ball on the nurture. $1.7 million to the house after the agents and ISA bonuses. $1.7 million we lost out on just because we didn't have a good follow-up campaign in place.
Wow.
So, like, listen, I mean, you've got to have something work in that database. If you have access to that database, I would be running, I mean, holy smokes. I would call fellow day and get it set up. And then I would call my lender and I'd be like, listen, two things. One, we need to improve on the person that's making the touches and the calls. I want to see metrics. I want to see these things. And then I want you to split fellow with me.
Okay. Yeah, I always know that there's something missing because it's like you said, the social strategy is working, bringing in, nurturing my sphere of influence and people who are on those platforms, but that's all new. All these other people are older contacts that I just need to continue to nurture.
Right. Let's go back to Hermosi, right? Core 4 and your lead getters. So your core 4. So you've got social rocking, database. Focus on the database. You have an unfair competitive advantage to be able to access that database.
Yeah.
And then you've got the ISA making the cold outreach. That's doing the touches. So we need to monitor that. We need to put some visibility and accountability on it. And then the other is paid ads. And you're like, I'm not going to run ads right now. Okay, cool, that's fine. Then we definitely have social, database, cold outreach, and then you've got your lead getters who send in opportunities your way. So just I mean, organic social is a non-negotiable, but you have some competitive advantages that
Yeah.
we would
I need to
all
take advantage of.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, cool. I think other than that, now that the last 30, 60 days have kind of somewhat slowed down, I just need to make, like you said, the 3 to 5 daily wins. Mine almost feels like it's going to be like 5 to 10, just between, business, agent to CEO, our social strategy, and then obviously my other group. I just gotta time block really and
Yeah.
get everything done because I mean it's been appointment after appointment and new
Mhm.
meeting and all that so much lately that other things have fallen to the wayside that I need to get back on track.
I would still keep it 3 to 5. I wouldn't try to go more than that.
Yeah.
If you can do more, that's great. But the most critical things, and then remember the flow of the week. Not every day is different. So there's certain, times that are a little bit slower on the real estate side of things that you could block in for the things that you need to do, right? Batch, I mean, this batch as much content as you can. But just find the flow, and it's different. Every week's different. That's why Sunday planning is got to be a non-negotiable for all of
Yeah,
us.
agree. All right, appreciate it.
Joel, we got you back.
I think so. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you. Any other thoughts, questions, anything with Andrea?
No, just when you're doing the 3 to 5 things, that doesn't mean that's the only stuff you're going to do today. It's just the stuff that has to get done. So do the 5, and then if whatever works for you, if that's knock those things out first thing in the morning, and then you've got the rest of the day freed up, or if you're like you want to first thing in the afternoon, whatever you work best, knock those things all out, and then get to the rest of your list.
Love it.
Cool. Okay. I updated Andrea. I updated kind of the notes, the mastermind note sheet, so you can kind of default back to that, and then saw you guys, everybody else in there, kind of updating and putting notes in. So good job on that. Cool. Any final thoughts? I mean, we've got time. Obviously, I'll circle back with Robin. She had kiddos first day of school, so obviously we saw that heads up that she probably wasn't going to be able to join us. And then Tim's there with Joel, probably nursing what him and Mongo got into last night. But no, what else? Anything else on y'all's mind? Any other questions? I know Sam's coming to Cleveland. Kyle, have you guys looked at it? Does it work?
I have not
I don't
made
think
the
so. For the
decision.
agent to CEO,
Yeah.
no, I don't think we're going to be coming.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, it's the 24th and 25th of September. You would come in on the 23rd and then leave out on the 26th. So
Did you text me that info? I think you texted me, or
I might have. You can go to agent to CEO CLE.com. Yeah, look at it. I know we do have room as of right now, and we've got Tina Call, Veronica Figueroa, Blake Sloan, Dustin Black, obviously Joel, Kinder, myself, and Stasik. So we've got a pretty stellar lineup. 2 days, and then obviously supporting Al's event, Rock the Spectrum. So we're excited for that. And then what else is on the radar? And that's the main thing right now. Hoping the next time that we meet, Joel and I will have some exciting information, some news for you guys.
Well, that's a tease.
We're working on a couple things, right? If you had to, the impossible goal with the impossible timelines, sometimes you gotta, lean into other people's, connections and relationships, and just coming together on certain projects and certain things. So this one will definitely, one of the two opportunities we're working. One will be a pretty awesome ripple effect across the whole industry, and then the other one is right up my alley. What I'm more excited about moving into the future. So, Joe, I don't know what can we share. What do we want to share?
probably share on the broker side a little bit of what we're working on, because that's pretty much happening. The other
Okay, you want
the other
to fill them in on kind of, I know you've been spearheading that one more than me.
Yeah, sure. So one of John's old coaching clients from real estate recently started a business brokerage, and kind of looking at specifically small businesses, specifically Main Street businesses where there's just this massive need for education and then broker services. There's so many businesses that are profitable and in business a long time, have great reputations, and they're just getting shut down because either owners don't know that selling is an option, or they just don't have any resources or support to sell them. So that company is pretty new, focused on growing their brokers. And John and I are kind of building a consulting division within that business brokerage. So we're offering exit strategy packages, get your business ready to sell. And then we're offering what we jokingly call, oh shit, I just bought a business, what do I do now packages to the new owners. So really excited to kind of get into this broader small business space, which John and I are both, passionate about. Both have plans to either consult for equity or start acquiring small businesses where we can help the operator, scale, and then, get a big piece of the upside. So in the short term, we're going to be working a lot with these small businesses, getting them ready to sell or helping them get off to a fast start once they buy. Um, and then over the long term, hopefully starting to build a portfolio of businesses that we've got upside in. So that's one of the cool things that we're doing, getting in front of a lot of business owners and business brokers. And then, yeah, the other one I feel like maybe a little too early to and that one's real estate specific, the one that we can't quite share yet, but hopefully we'll have some updates in a month or maybe even sooner.
Yeah. Yeah, it would dang sure allow me to pull out the Mamba list if that deal comes together. And if you guys don't, when Kobe started, right, like he wrote down the list of everybody that he was going to go after, and he started crossing names off the list. So I've had my list, but it's been kind of in the drawer. If this deal comes together, that list is coming out, and I can't wait. Cool. All right, guys. Any other questions? Anything else that you guys have? All good in the hood? Okay. All right, guys. Well, build the momentum, engage. We have the WhatsApp channel with all of us in there. You obviously, you have me and Joel in there together on speed dial. Like, don't hesitate. Like, got a question, you get stuck, you're in the moment, you're about to throw a hand grenade, call, right? No hand grenades. No hand grenades. Don't blow anything up. Don't fire anybody. Don't do anything until we talk.
Need permission first before throwing hand grenades.
Yes. No hand grenades. That's one of Martell's rules, isn't it? No hand grenades.
Yeah.
Okay. Good stuff. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all. Let's keep rocking. We'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. See you guys.